Hello everyone, I'm here as Quizmaster Necromancy for Kids once again, bringing you a fun little game of Old School Yu-Gi-Oh! Reversal Quiz. And for my guests today, I have two amazing YouTubers, Janjo and Kuhb. Before we get to the rules, how about you two introduce yourselves, starting with Janjo.
Janjo from the Janjo zone, one could say. I primarily focus on the history of the game, and I'm excited to be a part of this. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. And Kuhb?
Hello, good people. This is Kuhb from the Kuhb Games YouTube channel, mostly playing GOAT format, focusing a little bit on the meme deck side of things. I'm also very happy to be here, happy to have a chance to take down one of my former Jeopardy champions, Janjo.
Yes, and they had played this before, but something went awry. But hopefully we can put all that behind us and we'll have a fresh new winner this time.
Yes, what was awry was that I didn't score more points, I think.
Those of you who haven't watched the first episode, and those of you returning to see these newer rules, the rules of the game are that each player starts with 8,000 life points. During each round, players will be given a prompt with an answer based on either the Duel Monsters anime, the English dub, or the card pool of Go Format Yu-Gi-Oh! Players will have roughly 10 seconds to think of an answer that fits the prompt, and then submit it to me, the Quizmaster. If a player's answer is the same as either the Quizmaster or their opponent this time, or if they cannot submit a fitting answer in the allotted time, that player loses 1,000 life points. As an example of play, name me an archetype in Go format.
Tunes.
Gravekeepers.
Tunes and Gravekeepers. Well,
Necro Valley negates that effect.
if you answered Gravekeepers, you would have had the same answer as me and lost 1,000 life points. And unfortunately, I didn't get to show this off last time when it was more relevant when we recorded the first time, but be sure to check out all of our Gravekeeper videos on YouTube. In addition to that, the player with the most life points at the end of the game, or whose opponent reaches 0 life points first, wins. Sort of like a reverse version of Family Feud, but be on the lookout for surprises throughout. Ways you can play along at home are Easy Mode, where you only play against me, the Quizmaster, or Normal Mode, play against the Quizmaster plus Janjo this time, and Hard Mode, where you have to try to guess differently than all three of us. Feel free to let us know how you do in the comments, and any answers that you found were particularly tricky.
Against super hard mode, play against yourself.
All that out of the way, let the reversal quiz begin. Let's start off with a simple one. Name a monster that could be reasonably considered a food. 10 seconds. And time is up. Submit your answers. Let's start with Janjo. What did you submit?
I'm starting it safe and simple. Hungry Burger.
Hungry Burger. And Kuhb?
Hungry Burger's a good one, but I went with Bean Soldier.
Bean Soldier. Well, that's good for both of you because the answer I gave was Mystic Tomato. That does mean, though, that our players at home are very unlucky as they now have 3 possible ways to lose life points. On to the next question. Name a spell or trap card with Goblin in its name. 10 seconds.
Ding ding.
Time's up. This time, Kuhb.
Don't think this one's gonna work, but I went with Good Goblin Housekeeping.
Good Goblin Housekeeping. And Janjo?
Yeah, I suppose there's a reason why that card is not limited, because there's 2 of them. I also did Good Goblin Housekeeping.
Ooh, that means both players will now be losing 1,000 life points for guessing the same answer as each other. Keeps them even, but it does mean they're both closer to 0 life points. The answer that I gave was Upstart Goblin.
I had a feeling Kuhb was going to pick Good Goblin Housekeeping. But I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll pick it.
Upstart Goblin didn't even cross my mind, to be honest, somehow.
There's also a Minor Goblin Official and Goblin Fan, which I think they changed its name or something like that, but that still counts. And Goblin Secret Remedy. On to the next one. Name a character other than Yugi who had a piece of Exodia in their hand. 10 seconds. Time's up. This time, let's start with Janjo.
Okay, I went with the Rare Hunter himself, also known as Seeker, or whatever, I guess, particular name he goes by on any given day of the week.
And Kuhb.
Yeah, you all are going to see that my knowledge of the anime is not very deep. I went with Weevil Underwood, the very obvious one.
Weevil Underwood. Yes, because it doesn't say they had to play the card, only that it had to be in their hand. And actually, one of the answers, plausible answers, would be Joey, because he did temporarily have it in his hand when he jumped in the water. But the character that I picked was Weevil Underwood.
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that one. It was a bit on the obscure side, but also felt obvious at the same time. Wait, when you say specifically they had it in their hand.
It would also count Yugi's grandpa. He did have it in his hand temporarily as well. But unfortunately, that means that Kuhb will be losing 1,000 life points. On to the next one. Name a trap hole card. And this can be from the anime or from Go format. Submit your answers.
Ding ding.
Kuhb.
Went with my favorite ooey gooey trap, the adhesion trap hole.
And Janjo.
I had that written down, but I erased it, then picked something else. I was very close. I am going with my favorite of the promotional ones, the acid trap hole.
Acid trap hole is another good one. The trap hole that I chose was Trap Hole.
The OG.
Classic.
All right, next question. Name me a ninja monster. 10 seconds.
Ding.
Time's up. Janjo, what did you pick?
I picked the chief himself, the Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke.
Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke. I played that in my really janky chaos deck at locals that also had Giant Germ. And Kuhb.
Looks like we may have too many chiefs here, because I also picked Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke.
Oh,
Ninja
no.
Grandmaster Sasuke. I also picked Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke.
Oh, no!
Luckily for the both of you, you don't lose extra life points, but you do still both lose 1,000. But there's a bunch of smoke in the room all of a sudden. What's that? Oh, I see. It's time to spot the ninja. Crimson Ninja has transformed himself, and you must find him. Correctly guess Crimson Ninja's transformation or lose 1,000 life points. As an example, if you think he turned into the building, you could say the Kame Game Shop. Or did they turn into Yugi or Joey or so on and so forth. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds now to give a look and take a guess.
Ding ding.
Janjo, what do you think the Crimson Ninja transformed themselves into?
Going off of the transformation trap card, I believe it turns to a winged beast, and I think Peacock's a winged beast, so I'm going with Peacock.
Fair assumption. And Kuhb?
Well, I believe it can also transform into a beast, since I have made, I think it's giant panda or giant koala with this card. And Peacock's level is a little too high, so I'm going to go with acrobat monkey and hoping that that is a beast and not a machine.
Well, unfortunately, I do have to tell you both that you are incorrect in this case, as Peacock is one level too high for Crimson Ninja to turn into, and Acrobat Monkey is indeed a machine monster.
Darn.
And in fact, what Crimson Ninja has transformed themselves into is the giant flea in the ear of Ninken Dog.
What? Nani?
If you zoom in close, you can see it.
Oh my god. It is there.
It sure is.
You've been fleed.
All right, so unfortunately, both players will be losing 1,000 life points because of that. And what does that bring you both at now?
I am currently at 5k.
And Kuhb?
I'm currently sitting just a little bit lower at 4,000.
Very nice. We're about halfway for both duelists, and we're about a third of the way through the questions. So let's carry on. Name me a spell or trap card that grants a monster piercing damage. And it doesn't have to specifically say piercing, just the effect that gives piercing. Alright, time is up. Janjo, what did you pick?
I went with perhaps a more obscure one here in some regards with Cyclone Laser.
Cyclone Laser. The card specifically for Gradius, which not even Duke Devlin played in his Gradius deck. He actually used Fairy Meteor Crush instead.
Hey, to be fair, that was a sealed duel.
True, that's true. And Kuhb, what did you select?
Duke Devlin is a smart person using Fairy Meteor Crush because I chose Fairy Meteor Crush.
Ooh. All right, the two of the equipped spells. There's also Big Bang Shot, but the one that I selected was Meteor Rain.
Ooh.
It was used in the anime at one point, but very rare to see it used in an actual duel. Anyway, this time, name me a vampire monster in GOAT format. Submit your answers.
Dang.
Kuhb, what was your answer?
Well, a very cool monster with very unique effect, and that is Patrician of Darkness.
Patrician of Darkness. Very interesting. I will count that. And Janjo.
I went with the one of the beginning and the one of the end, the Vampire Genesis.
One of the only really usable boss monsters from that era, and even then it's kind of janky, but still cool,
He's
in my opinion.
Basically only good to give Vampire Lord an attack boost.
Yeah, pretty much. But the one that I chose was Vampire Lady.
I was considering that originally.
Yep, that was my original pick.
And for those of you playing at home, Vampire Orcus was originally a vampire monster, so I would count it. All right. on to the
Is
next.
vampiric the same as a vampire?
Well, it was actually named Vampire Orcus originally.
Okay.
That's why I count it. But
Sure, okay.
nowadays, it wouldn't be a vampire monster. Anyway, moving on. Name one of the 3 legendary dragons. And For reference, these are from the Orichalcos arc, not talking about Blue Eyes and Red Eyes.
And this
Oh no.
is it goat specific or just
This is from the anime.
okay, anime specific? Ding.
Time is up. Janjo, what did you select?
I am going with the one that I ran in my, I believe, my 2018, 2017 Dark Magician deck, Timaeus.
Nice one. And Kuhb, it sounded like you were struggling a little bit. Did you manage to think of one?
I have no idea what any of the three are, so I just threw out Slifer the Sky Dragon, and I'll take my life point hit if I need to.
Yes, unfortunately, Slifer is not one of the 3 legendary dragons, although I can understand. This one it was a little more obscure because technically it was a filler arc, but it was one of the best filler arcs in all of anime, just saying. The one that I chose was Critias, the one that Kuhb used.
I have heard of Timaeus. I've not heard of the other one. So
Critias, I believe, gets you to like Doom Virus Dragon, Destruction Dragon, and Mirror Force Dragon.
Yeah, it's the one that lets you fuse with trap cards. And it's also the one where Kaiba gloats that he's defying logic in the Japanese anime. And moving on, we have the next one. Name a card depicting a slime. I'm not going to be overly critical about this, but I can't let just anything slide.
Ding.
Submit your answers. Kuhb.
God, I hope this is in GOAT format. I'm pretty sure it is. I picked Door Over. I think that's kind of slimy.
That's
And
an
it is indeed
OCG card, right?
slimy. Oh, it might be. I know that there is
no.
100% for sure.
I want to say it's from like volume 3 or something like that.
Or over. What? It must have been one of its counterparts that I'm thinking of then. Let's
It
see.
did. I think its counterpart was Liquid Beast.
That's the one.
Yeah, Liquid Beast is the one that we have.
Oh man, got by the
Janjo
OCG.
here. Yeah.
I just OCG your ass.
Janjo proving to be even more knowledgeable than I. Not that that's a great feat. But Janjo, which one did you select?
I went with one that is technically a slime. Revival Jam.
Revival Jam. I will count that. Will Janjo also be losing 1,000 life points? I did select a jam, but it was not Frog the Jam or Revival Jam. It was Jam Breeding Machine.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of Liquid Beast art in my head, but the name Dorover just kind of took over, I guess. Unfortunate.
You get a little plus for going through an OCG monster in my book.
On to the next one. Name a card that goes face up into a player's deck.
Yeah.
Time is up. Kuhb, what did you submit?
I can only think of 3 of them, so I went with my favorite art of the 3, and that is Grave Lure.
Grave Lure. I actually do love the art, hate the card, but love the art. And Janjo.
I think this is what I'm thinking of. Pharaoh's Treasure.
Pharaoh's Treasure. It indeed goes face up into a player's deck because that's also what I selected.
Oh no.
Let's
Pharaoh's
go. We're getting
Treasure.
closer.
What the heck is Gravelord?
It's Pharaoh's Treasure, except
From
with
the Lost. Oh, of course, Lost
the gift
Millennium.
card.
I think I said before, Lost Millennium is lost on me.
Oh, but speaking of the Pharaoh's treasure, I think I see an opportunity for profit. Let's go into the tombs and see if you can guess which level the treasure is buried on. In this minigame, you will guess a monster, which is level 1 through 11. If your monster is within 2 levels of the monster that I select, you lose no life points. If you guess 3 or more levels away, you lose 1,000 life points. And if you guess the exact same level of monster that I did, you gain 1,000 life points. Do you guys understand the rules?
Sure.
I think so.
So basically, you'll name me a monster and then what level it is, and you're trying to guess the same level basically as I did. Alright, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to think about this.
Any monster?
Any monster in Go format or the anime.
No.
Level 1 through 11, because unfortunately there's no level 12 in Go format. Janjo, what level and monster did you select?
I went with one that I picked purely because it's fun to say, and that is the level 7 normal dragon, Mikazuka no Yaiba.
And I wouldn't even be able to pronounce that back to you. But level 7, alright. Kuhb, what did you select?
I went with a level 7 with dragon in its name, so Janjo got me a little bit worried there, but I went with Facilier Dragon, the dual mode beast.
Facilier Dragon, the dual mode beast, both level 7s. Luckily, you guys don't lose life points for guessing the same number or level, but the monster and level that I selected was level 10, Thanen the Great Sphinx. So, unfortunately, that means you both were 3 levels away, which means that you lose 1,000 life points.
Dang.
Unfortunate, but we're still in there.
You know, when you first said the question, part of me, like, my first thought was, like, oh, what's the highest monster I could, like, think of? Either, like, Thousand Eyes Idol on the low end, or, like, a Sphinx on the high end.
Yeah, I think, maybe there is a monster in the anime that's level 12, but I don't know off the top of my head.
I guess the God cards?
Yeah, I think they're level 12. But regardless, what are your life points at now?
I'm at 3K.
Yeah, I'm on the precipice of death here. I am at 1,000.
Ooh, 3,000 and 1,000. Well, it's just in time for the lightning round.
Awesome.
We have just a few
The great
more questions
equalizer.
left, and both players will have only 5 seconds to think of an answer, and each loss will cost them 2,000 life points instead. Are both of you ready for this final round?
Let's do it.
Try my best.
All right. First question. Name a level 4 normal monster which Yugi used in the anime other than a magnet warrior, since we already did that. Submit your answers. Janjo, what did you pick?
I went with the Elvish Warrior, the Celtic Guardian.
Kuhb.
I'm really going to kick myself if he didn't use this, but I'm fairly certain Yugi used Beaver Warrior.
He did use Beaver Warrior, also known as Louise in Japanese.
It's like Louise.
But the
Jeez Louise.
the level 4 normal monster that I picked, though, was indeed Celtic Guardian.
No!
Go.
My life points. No,
in
no,
this.
now we're both at 1,000.
Both players will be eliminated if they get one more answer wrong. Name a monster's attack name from the anime and which monster uses it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time's up. Kuhb. what attack name did you select?
Went with Triangle Ecstasy Spark by Harpy Lady Sisters.
That is one that we learned about.
Sure is.
Janjo, what did you pick?
I think I made an error in this. I went with Fist of Fury for Obelisk, but I think it's Fist of Fate.
Let me double check here. All right, Fist. Oh, okay. His effect name was Fist of Fury. His attack name was Fist of Fate.
That.
I'm going to allow it.
Yeah, I
because
say we
that's
give it to 'em.
difficult. That's a very difficult one, so I will allow it. It was close
Okay,
enough.
Cool.
And Kuhb,
Oh no.
the answer that I picked was not yours. It was
Oh, thank
Dark
God.
Magic Attack by the Dark
Oh.
Magician.
Making me sweat here.
All right, let's move on quickly here. Name a duelist who used the Seal of Orichalcos in the anime. Time's up. Janjo.
I went with the Insector Haga Weevil.
Weevil Underwood. And Kuhb.
Yeah, I didn't know the last question that pertained to this, so I didn't know the answer to this one either. So I would just went with Yugi, and we're just kind of hoping here.
Yugi actually did use the Seal of Orichalcos. And that's how he ended up losing little Yugi's soul. And then it led to the scene where he says, "Should have been me, not him!"
Isn't it always?
But, you guys, one of you just lost.
No,
Because
it's me.
the answer that I selected was Weevil Underwood.
Oh
Let's
no!
Penalty game.
Oh no! That means I am at 0.
It's unfortunately, Janjo goes down to 0 life points. But we'll finish out this game just for the people playing at home to see how they do. Name me a turtle monster. Time's up. Kuhb, what turtle monster did you pick?
Went with a very iconic giant turtle who feeds on flames.
One of my favorite ones as a kid, in fact. And
Yeah.
Janjo?
I went with the one that will strike down your flotation ring, Catapult Turtle.
A classic one. There's actually quite a lot of turtle monsters when you look into it, including Turtle Tiger or Tiger Turtle. I don't remember which way it goes. And one that we don't have that's in Japan, unfortunately, is a Turtle Raccoon, which I hope one day we will have. But the one that I selected today was Island Turtle. Came with the Joey deck back in the day.
Guess there's also Crab Turtle.
Yep, and Illusion Turtle, and Gora Turtle, and Dawn Turtle. There's a lot of them.
Goodness.
Now, name a continuous spell card with an effect that inflicts damage to a player. And Janjo.
I feel like our answers will be on the flip of a coin here. It's either going to be A or B, and the answer I am going with is the Dark Room of Nightmare.
Dark Room of Nightmare. That was the penalty game from the previous quiz. And Kuhb.
Yeah, my condolences to one of my favorite cards, Wave Motion Cannon, but I also went with Dark Room of Nightmare here.
Ooh. So that means that in the end, I believe both players ended with 0 life points. So you'll be taking 2,000. But the one that I selected this time was Ectoplasmer.
Okay. So I was thinking I was going to be Dark Room or Chain Energy. Like, it's got to be one of those two.
Chain energy actually doesn't inflict damage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they just pay life.
Yeah, that's how they get around some of the stuff, such as Wombat. And for some reason, it's the only card that lets you pay life points to 0 in Go format. You can't do it with any other card. There's one more question.
But
But both, just a bonus round for those playing at home, of course, and just for fun. Name a penguin monster. Kuhb.
I also hope this isn't an OCG card. I went with Flying Penguin.
That was a McDonald's card, I believe. One of the first McDonald's, not the second one, which would be after Go format. Janjo.
I went with the only one that can unite the deck, Penguin Knight.
The only card that can unite the deck, and the only one that could unite me and you, Janjo, because we both selected Penguin Knight.
No! Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. No.
So in the end, both players had 0 life points, but Janjo went to 0 first. So that means our winner for this episode is Kuhb. And I bet, Kuhb, you were wondering what your prize is.
Absolutely.
Your prize is your very own Buster Rancher.
Sweet. That's what I've always wanted.
And a year's supply of Nutrient Z.
Constantly taking life points and then gaining them back.
We'd be gaining 4,000 a lot over here.
Thank you very much, both of you, for being on today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it, even though I lost. But, I did win the failed attempt.
Yes,
So
to tell the truth, he did win the first time that we did this a couple of weeks ago, but it looks like Kuhb brought things back and got himself a win this time.
That's right. Super fun time doing this. Very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed watching the first episode as well. So thank you for having me on, and my apologies to Big Koala for calling it Giant Koala earlier.
I'm sure it can handle things. Seems like a very chill monster. But thank you guys again, and thank you for watching. Be sure to let us know how you did in the comments, and if you'd like to see more of these, have a great one.